Hello. Well, today I was determined to budget my time well enough to where I could make a video this morning. It's Thursday morning after my weekly weigh-in, and I wanted to be able to at least video it on Thursday morning. It may not get put up till Friday, but I videoed it just a few hours after my weigh-in. I'm also going to try to do another installment of the foods that I eat, and this will be the third video I've made about canned goods. Today, canned vegetables in particular. Let's get on to my weigh-in before we go on to the product reveal for this week. Last Thursday, I weighed in at 123.4. I had explained in the last video that this was an almost 7-pound gain over a 2-week time. I was pretty distraught that I'd gained so much weight during those 2 weeks, but I knew if I would just buckle down and start tracking more accurately, I could get it under control. So, how did I do this week? Well, last Monday, when I got on the scale, as I normally have been doing for several months now, I was down about 0.8 of a pound. So I was encouraged. I was below my happy weight again, but I needed to be below my happy weight so that I would have confidence enough to continue my maintenance. And that was okay. I decided I was going to try to continue to track accurately. I did eat a little bit more Monday through this morning, but obviously I was tracking more accurately than I had in 2 weeks. And when I got on the scale this morning, I weighed 120.8 pounds. I'm very happy with that. It's a little more than what I meant to lose. I just wanted to prove to myself that I could get back on track, and I did. So for this week, I am down 2.6 pounds. Now next week, I may be right there in 123 range again, but that's going to be all right as long as I don't get above the 125. That's my goal for ever, really, is to try to stay somewhere in that neighborhood of 123 to 125. I'm okay with losing a little bit of weight because I needed encouragement. Just like I try to give all of y'all out there encouragement and information, I need it too sometimes. That's why I watch other people's videos. I get encouragement from them when they're doing well. And even when they're not doing well, they still have a lot of things that I can glean from their videos. The only way that I feel like that I can encourage myself is to go by information and others' experience and my own experience. I go over some of my old videos to try to understand how I was doing, what I was eating, and if I will continue to be diligent about that, I'll be successful. I know that I will. Sometimes it's hard to be so diligent. I mean, we're talking over 8 years now, but it's worth every bit of effort that I've put into it. And I hope that you can see that. I hope that you will have as successful a week as I did this week. The only way we'll ever do it is to get our mind set in the right frame of mind. Okay, now let's go on to product reveal. Like I said earlier, third installment of canned goods, specifically canned vegetables. All right, let's start with the first canned vegetable. I've got about 7 cans here, so I'm going to go through them relatively quickly so you won't get too bored. But these are foods that I feel like have helped me either lose weight over these 8 years or maintain. And for the most part, I think they've helped me lose. Even the ones which there are, these first two have points associated with them. But, you know, you can't eat 0 pointed foods all the time. You have to eat something that's got points to it. And these two are very filling and low in points. So I wanted to make that clear. This first one that I'm going to share with you is one that I have already mentioned a few videos back when I talked about the LeSueur peas. These are the LeSueur Tender Baby Carrots. And they do have points associated with them because they have a little bit of sugar, but it's worth it to me because they're that good. And for 1/2 of a cup, it's 1 personal point. It's also 30 calories. So if you're a calorie counter, it's still very low in calories. And then the next one that I have is very similar to the one I just did, but it is by Del Monte, and it is peas and carrots. I can eat this whole can, and it's only 2 personal points. And sometimes I use it, especially when I'm by myself. I will eat the whole can with some chicken or whatever meat, protein I happen to have on hand, and so it makes a great meal. Yes, it does have personal points associated with it, but it's good, and it's enough to where it satisfies me. The third and fourth product, they're very similar. They're both made by Hunt's, and the first one is tomato sauce. Now, I know tomatoes are basically fruits and not vegetables, but I consider it a vegetable in how I eat it. I do not eat it as a sweet treat, and that's what I always think of as fruits. And so this is no salt added tomato sauce. I put this in so many recipes. I used some the other night when I made my new meatloaf. I was trying to come up with a low-pointed ground turkey meatloaf, and I put the tomato sauce in it, and it's a good filler. And for the whole can, it is 0 personal points. For the whole can also, it's only 100 calories. Is that right? Yeah. It's actually a little less than 100 calories, but that's close. The second product is tomatoes, and it's diced tomatoes made by Hunt's. For this whole can, it is 0 personal points. Now, for a 1/2 cup, it's 30 calories. And this can has close to 4 servings in it, and so that would be a total of 100 calories, but it's still no personal points. I checked it, and it said for the whole can, it's still 0 personal points. Now, these last 3 are all 3 0 personal points, and 2 out of 3 of them are non-starchy vegetables, but I will read this first one first. It's the starchy vegetable. So for some of y'all, it may have points associated with it because this is one of my 0 point foods, and it's whole kernel corn by Del Monte. And so it may have a point or 2 associated for you. It does not for me. But for 1/2 of a cup, it is 0 personal points and 60 calories. When I can't get my corn on the cob, which that's what I prefer, I will turn to this whole kernel corn. It's not cream corn. Cream corn has some sugar associated with it. This is just whole kernel corn. But for 1/2 a cup, for me, it's 0 personal points. These are 2 green vegetables that I have used for a long time before I was ever on Weight Watchers. I was using these 2 products. Maybe not this first brand, but this is the Double Luck green beans. Now, it is specifically Blue Lake green beans. That's what Papa likes the best. As years have gone by, especially these last couple of years, it has been very difficult for me to find these Blue Lake green beans that don't have a lot of sticks and stems in them. The Double Luck, for the most part, does not, but it even does occasionally. So the best thing I can say is if you get a can that's got it in it, just pick them out, because for 1/2 cup of these green beans, it too is 0 personal points, and they're good. The Blue Lake really are a little better than all the other varieties of green beans for me. But Double Luck, for right now, it's a store brand. It's a private label brand with our local grocery store. But it has less stems and sticks in it than several other non-store brands. And then finally, this is something that I have been eating for most of my life, adult life anyway, and it is asparagus spears. I have always had a tender place in my heart for these spears, specifically the spears. Now, yes, this canned good is a little expensive, so I don't have it all the time. I will have asparagus about once or twice a month because it is expensive. But for 5 spears, 5 of these asparagus spears, it is 0 personal points and 20 calories. So on a special occasion, it's worth whatever I have to pay. And I usually can make at least 2 meals out of this can. Well, that's my reveal for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not, share if you think someone else would enjoy this video, and until next week, goodbye.